Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. Thank you so much, Rajiv. Thank you so much, Vivek. Thank you so much, Anil, for joining in. And thanks to everyone who has joined us on our social channels like YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram. I'd request everyone to, click on the Zoom link in the chat section to join us live and interact live. Okay, so I'm just pasting the link to the Zoom meet here on chat. Yes. So the people who are joining for the first time today, Learn Blockchain in 5 days is a program that we have created in intent to make blockchain easy to access to many people. And this is part of our bigger program, which is Blockchain Bronze, which we will also be going to talk about in our graduation day. So this 5-day program is spread out in this way, where we, for the 4 days, we are going to cover concepts that are essential to learn blockchain. On the 5th day, we are going to certify people who have been throughout along with us, right? So thank you so much. Thank you, Vivek sir, for joining us again today as well, right? Thank you, Vijay. Thank you, Prashant. Thank you, Sham. Yes, great. So now let me share my screen. Okay. So let me know if you are able to see my screen. So on the day one, we have discussed the evolution of blockchain, the evolution of cryptocurrencies. On day two, we have understood what is encryption, hashing, and all. And post that, we also understood a little about smart contracts, right? In today's session, we are going to understand a little about Hyperledger, right? Okay, let's begin. If you're able to see my screen, type V. If my screen is visible, type V in the chat box. Thank you so much, Vivek. Thank you so much, Anil. Right? Amazing. Okay. So as we've learned a little about smart contracts, so how many of you are attending for the first time? Type me in the chat box. Okay. I hope everybody has attended one or two sessions beforehand. That's good. So today's topic is Hyperledger. In Hyperledger, we'll understand with an example, right? So that is our way to understand better. So now if you look at this particular example, we have a person A, let's just say Alice. Now she is into supply of her own product, right? So in a traditional system, she gives a product to 3 to 4 different markets. Now she has got one customer who has got a very special offer from her. Now what is happening here? This special offer is only known to Bob, right? So we do not, and Alice does not want this offer to be known to any of her other markets, because this is a special offer, right? Because her price for Bob is different. Now, if we want to replicate this on blockchain, the challenge would be whatever information she has with Bob is also on a distributed ledger and everybody is aware of it, right? So we do not want that. So we want this. Anil sir, you are saying something. You are on mute.
No, sir. Screen is not visible, sir.
Okay. So it says my screen is sharing. Vivek or Rajiv, can you confirm if my screen is visible or not? Okay. Yes, I'm resharing my screen. Can you let me know if my screen is visible now? Yes, Anil, is my screen visible now?
It's not. No, sir. It's not coming.
Okay. Rajiv sir, can you confirm if my screen is visible? Okay.
Sir, I will rejoin it. Okay, sir.
Yeah. Okay, fine.
Okay.
So let me just check our stream so that we'll know that if my screen was visible. Okay. That's great. Yes, my screen is visible. Amazing. Okay, so let's resume. Okay. Welcome back. Okay, so let me know if my screen is visible now.
Yeah, sir, it is visible.
Okay, thank you so much.
Oh.
Okay. So now we were telling that now Alice has given a special price to Bob, and this price is not unknown to other markets. Okay. Now what is going to happen here? If this particular system is built on blockchain, everybody will be aware of what special offer Alice is giving to Bob, right? But that is not the case. Now, Alice does not want this particular offer to be known to everyone. So how do you do a customized version of blockchain where everybody has access to all the data, but that access is permissioned, meaning there is a limited permission to a specific data. So how do we do that? That is where Hyperledger comes into picture. So for example, in supply chain, now Alice wants, there are many parties involved. Let's just say first, the operation is supply verification, then there is logistic verification, then there is a distribution logic, and then there is a payment verification, and then there is the customer. Okay, so the deal is only known to two people, right? But we do not want anybody in the system to be aware of that particular deal. Okay, so how do we ensure that this is happening, right? How only logistics person has the data to logistics, the payments person has the data to payments, right? So how do we do that? We use something called Hyperledger. This is called permission access to information, right? So whatever information you are giving, rest everybody is aware, but only a little limited information is aware about one particular transaction, right? So that is what is called Hyperledger, right? So now what is this Hyperledger is from the popular Linux Foundation, who have created Node.js, drone code, Akumos, right? So this Hyperledger is also from them. So this Hyperledger is a layer over blockchain, right? So we'll try to understand a little differences between Hyperledger and other blockchain networks, right? So now Bitcoin as a network, a blockchain network, has its own cryptocurrency. Ethereum has its own cryptocurrency. It is called Ether. But Hyperledger is made only for as a network platform. It does not have any cryptocurrency of its own, right? So this can be implemented without cryptocurrency, right? So in Bitcoin blockchain or Ethereum blockchain networks, the network is completely public, right? Everybody is aware of all the information, all the transaction. But in Hyperledger, it is permissioned. So that is the whole concept of Hyperledger. So the people who have just joined right now, we'll just be repeating what is Hyperledger to give you a glance, right? Now, what is in smart contracts? Ethereum has its own smart contract language and the way to write smart contracts, which is Solidity. Bitcoin network, blockchain network, does not have any. Hyperledger has its own way to create smart contracts, which is called chain code. So like how we use Solidity on Ethereum, on Hyperledger we use chain code, right? So now we are understanding the differences. Just to be clear on Hyperledger, in regular blockchain networks, all the information is available to everyone. In Hyperledger, there is only permissioned access to information, right? For example, if there is some information that only two people need to know, or a few people on the network need to know, that can be done using Hyperledger. It can be achieved through Hyperledger, right? So this is created by the Linux Foundation, and we have seen differences between other blockchain networks and Hyperledger, where other blockchain networks have their own cryptocurrency, but Hyperledger in general does not need any cryptocurrency, right? The network is not fully public, it is permissioned, right? So that is what we have understood till now, right? So we will just revise on a few concepts that we have come from the beginning. Let's just say in the beginning, on the day one, we've understood the differences between fiat currency and a cryptocurrency, how the evolution of fiat currency happened, how the evolution of currency in general has happened, how the challenges like centralization, how the problems like cyber attacks are being tackled with the help of encryption and hashing functions, right? How there is no asset backing for the fiat currency system currently, right? So that all things we have discussed. We also discussed about the 2008 financial crisis trigger, from where the need for a distributed system or a distributed network evolved, right? So we have also discussed about that. Then slowly we have discussed about the origin of cryptocurrencies, how Bitcoin started, and how this anonymous individual or a group named Satoshi Nakamoto has published a white paper on blockchain and also implemented it on 3rd of December 2009, right? So this also we have discussed. We also understood the origin of cryptocurrencies, right? So we have come to the understanding that there are no intermediaries involved in a blockchain environment. There is no counterfeit transaction. There is no double spending. You're not able to spend more than your limit. That is not happening. It is a self-regulated system which is guided by its own protocol, right? And it is not editable, it is not mutable. So that is what we have understood. Okay, so we have understood slowly what is this cryptographic ownership. We also understood a little about hashing functions. We also understood how the transactions are irrefutable, meaning how they are not editable. Okay, so I hope Vivek, you've joined back. That's fine. That's great. Now, the encryption, we've understood a little about encryption. Encryption was the oldest use of cryptography, where you encrypt a message, right? When a king is sending a message to another king without others trying to understand what is there in that, they used to encrypt that particular message. So that is encryption. And we've understood how this is being achieved in blockchain or Bitcoin environment using the hash functions. We have also tried out our SHA-256 hashing algorithms online version also. We also understood that because this 5-day program is more of the intent of the 5-day program is to make Bitcoin or the education about the blockchain accessible to many others. We cover more details about the algorithm, how this is being used, and how you can code smart contracts, how you can write smart contracts within our deeper course, which is blockchain bronze as well, right? So how many of you remember that we have done our hashing, right? So if you understood hash functions when you've done it, type U in the chat box. Thank you so much, Anil. Right? So just to give you an understanding, what hash functions do and what SHA-256 does is, if you give an input, it is going to convert it into a fixed length complex string, right? If I'm going to change it even in a small character also, the whole of the input is drastically changed. So that is because this encryption is there at such a smaller level, the whole blockchain becomes a little more secure, right? So we've also understood about such hash functions and the use of it. And then we have understood how traditional applications are different from decentralized applications, right? How Google, Facebook, Twitter are using your data to earn from advertising. That is the reason you're not getting charged for using Facebook, because they are utilizing our data to get revenue from advertisers, right? So if at all you're trying to search for one person on Facebook, there are a few APIs that speak to the database and return some data. But in decentralized application, there's no intermediate platform. It is all peer-to-peer, user to user. If you're trying to search someone on the network, let's just say if that is the use case, there is a small gas fee that gets charged to you, and it gets auto-detected from your wallet that is connected if you're using that particular service. If you give it permission, and there's a very nominal fees, like 0.00001 ETH or something like that. So, and you are more in control of your own data, and the network gives you an update, and that update comes to you, right? So what are smart contracts? We've understood smart contracts are small sets of logic that will automate manual process within blockchains, right? So how does that happen? Now maybe you can have a front end. Look and feel of that particular application could be done on HTML5, CSS, or JavaScript, and from there we are interacting with a Web3 API, and there we have our Solidity language in which we are writing our smart contracts. So we write smart contracts in this language called Solidity, which is based upon Ethereum blockchain network, right? So whatever smart contracts you write, for example, if you have made a request in the front end, you're going to get a response based upon the output provided by the smart contract. So that is how Solidity sits in your backend and works hand in hand with the APIs and the front end, right? So we have also understood that, right? So how many of you have understood what is Solidity and how we use it to code? How can we code automation scripts using Solidity, right? If you understood what we use to code automation scripts on Ethereum, type U in the chat box. Thank you, Prashant. Thank you, Sham. Thank you, Manoj. Thank you, Vivek. Right? So we understood a lot of advantages that come, which is the autonomy that comes because you are directly interacting with the platform. There's no intermediary, and there's more trust because all documents are getting encrypted end to end. And there's more accuracy because the smart contract is faster and avoids a lot of errors also, right? So that also we have understood the advantages. We've also understood how smart contracts work in general, right? So there is a set of conditions that are required for the smart contract to work, right? For example, let's just say there is an insurance application for which the smart contract is written. The smart contract has a logic. Let's just say it says issue the insurance if all the conditions are met, if the criteria is met. Then the automation script will run, and if the conditions are met, it will issue the insurance on a blockchain kind of a setup. And here the execution and processing is happening on the network, and for which a little gas fee gets charged to the individual users, right? So it has all the properties of encryption because smart contracts themselves are not editable once they are live, right? So once they are live, you will not be able to edit previous smart contract, but you can create a new smart contract instead of that, right? So now to also explain what types of records can be kept in blockchain. So these are a few interview questions that also get asked, right? So we cover these at length in our blockchain bronze program also, which if at all you are serious and planning on to take a career in blockchain and understand it in a deeper sense, you can even understand it within our blockchain bronze course also. But here there's a glimpse of what normally is asked in interviews, right? So what type of records can be kept in blockchain? You can keep any kind of records, right? You can keep medical transaction records. You can keep IDs and identity related records. You can put up financial transaction and processing related records. You can even do business transaction related records. So there's no particular set limit on what kind of records can be kept in blockchain. Now there are even files being uploaded. Even there is media being uploaded onto blockchain. So all types of records can be kept on blockchain. So how many of you understood this? Type U in the chat box. Yes, thank you so much, Shyam. Thank you, Sushmita. Thank you, Vivek. Thank you, Manoj. Thank you, Anil. Right. So a few other things people keep asking, like, what do you mean by mining? So in general, mining is a process of verifying or adding transactions to the public ledger, right? So for example, if we all are on the blockchain network, we are participating in the network, but if as a node, because we are connected, if you are helping the blockchain by giving it more computational power of your system, if you are helping in process of verifying the transactions, then it is called mining. Okay, so miners are basically special nodes which hold the copy of ledger and verify the transaction happening on the network, right? So they use all of the protocol related algorithms that are available on the network, right? So basically mining is nothing but allowing our systems to participate in the network activities where we verify and process the blockchain transactions, right? So how many of you are clear about mining? Mining is not like mining or creation of Bitcoin. It is basically verification and processing of the transaction related to the cryptocurrency. If you understood this, type U in the chat box. Yes, thank you so much, Anil. Thank you, Manoj. Thank you, Vivek. Thank you, Sushant. Thank you, Prashanta. Okay, so now how is a blockchain ledger different from an ordinary one, right? So now if you look at a blockchain ledger and an ordinary ledger, you can see that in a blockchain ledger, the same copy of the ledger is available to every member on the network, right? So, but in an ordinary ledger, like let's just say it's a bank ledger, right? The bank is the person who's going to have the access to it, and everybody else will have their own copy of their own accounts, right? They'll not be having a distributed ledger or a public ledger, right? So that is blockchain ledger's primary difference. The chances of error in blockchain ledger are 0 or less, because it is public and it is not editable, right? So you cannot go ahead and edit anything because it's only add, right? If at all there's any error on the transaction, if there's any manipulation that is trying to happen on the blockchain distributed ledger, you will be that transaction will be rejected because it is public, right? Now on blockchain, the ledger is many times is always read only, right? There's only a read option or create option, but there is nothing that you can do to alter the transaction. But in ordinary ledgers, you can perform all kinds of operations. CRUD meaning creation, updation and deletion. Everything can be done on an ordinary ledger, right? So how many of you understood the difference between a blockchain ledger and an ordinary ledger? type U in the chat box. Yes, thank you so much, Vivek. Great. Okay, so that summarizes our session for today, right? So people who have who are joining us for the first time, I hope this was value add for you. You have taken out a little information. Yes, Anil, which section you'd want to understand? You can let me know that particular section so we can discuss about it, right? So now the last, okay. So basically, if at all you're talking about ledger, this one, Anil? Okay, so basically, yeah. So the blockchain ledger or an ordinary ledger, the difference is the ordinary ledger. Let's consider this a bank ledger. This is not public. Blockchain ledger is public, right? You cannot make edits in a blockchain ledger, but in a ordinary ledger is nothing but a list of transactions, right? In an ordinary ledger, you can do all kinds of updation, right? You can update your details, you can update your IFSC code and all those things. But in blockchain, it is only read only. Here, you can do all kinds of edit and deletion kind of activities in a normal ledger. So blockchain ledger does not let you do that. So that is the reason it is more secure, right? So I hope, Anil, that is clear. If it is clear, type C in the chat box. Okay, thank you so much, Anil. Right, so that brings us to the conclusion of today's session, right? I hope this was valuable to you, and people who have expressed interest in our blockchain bronze program yesterday also, thank you so much for that. If you are enjoying our part of the program, I'm sure that you will be enjoying the whole of the program also. Blockchain bronze, we have spoken about the blockchain bronze. We are going to talk about it tomorrow also in detail, what this industry has to offer and how you can upskill yourself and try to get into this particular industry. So the jobs in blockchain are shooting through the roof. The salaries that blockchain developers or blockchain consultants are getting, and the industry that is going to change in the upcoming 2 to 3 years is definitely something that everyone can look forward to, right? So how many of you are interested in taking blockchain as a serious career option? Type me in the chat box. Yes, thank you so much, Vivek. So people who are interested in taking up, thank you so much, Manoj. Thank you so much, Anil. I'd request you to leave your contact details so that we can speak and let you understand on how you can take it forward and how you can upskill yourself in blockchain and get into a high-paying job, right? So we are, if even if you are in between careers, even if you are a student who's trying to look for placements, even if you are just getting started in this particular industry, if you are just a beginner also, even that areas also we'll be able to help. Yeah, thank you so much, Vivek. That is definitely helpful. We have many people in our community. We have roughly about 1050 people in our community who are upskilling into blockchain and are getting fabulous results, right? So I would want to personally let you know how is their experience be and how you can also do something that your peers are doing, right? So thank you so much for expressing your interest, Vivek and Manoj. Thank you so much. Right. So we'll see all of each other tomorrow. We'll understand blockchain in a deeper way tomorrow. Till now we have understood the concepts of it. Now we'll understand the industry and how you can flourish in this particular industry. Okay. Great. Thank you so much for joining in for this today's 30 minutes. Thank you so much.